Hey everyone, Sarah Etter here, your 7-figure real estate investing coach. I'm so excited to have you guys back and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk a little bit about my story, how I got started in real estate, and how exactly do you become a millionaire in real estate. Most people think it's so simple. You buy a bunch of real estate and all of a sudden you become wealthy, and that's just not the case. And it's not about the market upturns and downturns. It's not about you losing money by investing in real estate, but it's just a matter of, if you want to do this full time as a real estate investor, you need to know where your money is coming from and how exactly you're going to scale it to run this like a business. And a lot of people, obviously ask me, well, how did I get started? How did I become so successful so quickly? And really, it comes down to some basic fundamentals. So when I first got started in real estate, I knew absolutely nothing. I didn't understand cash flow. I didn't understand what markets to even invest in. I was a complete beginner. So that's why I love talking about my story, because I want to tell you guys that you don't have to be professionals. You don't have to be moguls and experts with a ton of money or a ton of experience to become successful in real estate. One thing you do need, however, is knowledge and education. I had to educate myself. There was no way that I was going to invest a ton of money, become super successful in real estate, if I did not have expert knowledge and education in real estate investing. This isn't simple, and I get that. It takes time. It took me a good 2 years before I learned exactly, what I was going to do and what markets I wanted to invest in. But this is a critical step, that if you want to invest, even if you don't plan on quitting your 9-to-5, even if you don't want to become a professional real estate investor, having knowledge and educating yourself on what it is about is so, so important. When I first started, again, like I said, I knew absolutely nothing about cash flow, knew nothing about how to invest and where to invest. So the way I educated myself was actually working in the field, and I highly, highly recommend this if you want the best education possible. So I actually ended up working for a property management company. I managed a ton of doors, learned how to acquire properties. I learned how to manage tenants. I went to the landlord tenant board. I did so many things that really gave me a foundation in not just managing and property, managing with tenants, but also how to put in offers on properties, how to find off-market deals, and of course, how to analyze them. I also worked part-time for a law firm that specialized in real estate investing. I learned how to pull title searches. I knew how to read liens and easements on properties and the whole back to front process of how a property is purchased. It was great knowledge for someone that had never even owned their principal residence. Lastly, I ended up working for a real estate team, so realtors. Now I learned exactly how to put in offers, what clauses were important, and just a variety of knowledge that I really didn't understand from working for a property management company. So I gave myself a breadth of knowledge. Now I knew how the legalities worked. I knew how to find properties. I knew how to manage tenants, and I knew how to write successful offers and how to negotiate strongly with private sellers. So that's how I gained my knowledge and expertise. I was in the field working it and doing it. That's why you'll see a lot of real estate investors that are really successful are actually realtors, because they not only get access to great deals, but they get to work with real estate one-on-one on a daily basis, and it actually makes them stronger investors for it. That doesn't mean that every realtor is good at investing, but the ones that are solely focused on investing and become realtors or go that route tend to be very, very good at what they do. So that's something I highly recommend, because honestly, I would not be here today if I had not had that foundation. And that's because the way I decided to build my wealth was through JV partnerships. So I'm in a unique situation because I'm a former athlete. I spent my entire life, 15 years in fact, trying to go to the Olympics. Now, that's not something that actually generates you money. In fact, it put me and my family in tremendous amounts of debt. I was convinced that, I really wanted to go to the Olympics, that this was the way that I wanted to go and become a successful athlete. I put myself in horrendous debt. I was up to my eyeballs in credit card debt. I almost had no credit history. I was unemployed or an entrepreneur for many, many years as a coach myself with my own business. So I was a horrible mortgage candidate. When I stumbled upon real estate investing, I knew that this was the way that I was going to pay back my debts, get my family out of debt, and provide a stable income and future for my family. I knew that something had to get done. Fortunately, very early on in my real estate investing career, I learned about JV partnerships. Not everybody is for this, and I get that. People really want that chunk of a property for themselves. And I use an analogy that a good friend once told me, and it's really stuck with me. Would you rather have one whole cookie, or would you rather have half a tray of cookies? Take a second to think about that. Now, everybody's going to say, well, I want a full cookie to myself. But by doing so, you're really using all of your resources on one property. Your capital will get sunk in one property. Your time, your mortgage financing is just stuck in one property. Unless you have a trust fund somewhere or endless amounts of cash, you are only going to be maybe able to buy 1 to 2 properties a year. And that just isn't going to make you a millionaire quickly. You need to scale up faster. And honestly, the only way I know of to do that is through JVs. If you could split some of this wealth, take a hit and take 50% of the equity in that property, but you didn't have to put any mortgage financing down or any capital down, how much faster could you grow? So sure, I know you really want that one cookie to yourself, but wouldn't you rather have half a tray of 10, 15, 20 cookies? In the long run, you're going to be able to scale up so much faster, and that is the key to my success personally. I couldn't get mortgages. I had no money. I had no option but to use JVs, and it was the best thing I could have ever done because I learned the limitless possibilities when you're not putting in your own financing and your own capital. The world is your oyster. If you get really, really good at attracting money partners and you just have an endless supply of cash, you can buy as many properties as you want at the fastest speed that you want. This is the real way to wealth, long-term wealth. Now, if you're going to do this, you have to offer value, right? So that's where this comes back to this. I was able to entice people to JV with me, to give me their money, to give me their financing, because I was giving them something of value. I had the education, I had the experience, I knew how to put in offers, I knew how to manage tenants, and I knew how to find really, really good off-market deals. So this is how I have been able to generate my wealth long term. Like I said, doing this overnight is not very realistic. And I think a third point that's really, really important to consider is your strategy. Now, a lot of people think that you're just going to start buying real estate and you're just going to get wealthy overnight. And that's not the case. You need to evaluate a strategy based on your strengths. Because if you think that you want to invest in commercial real estate, but you have no idea how to write a commercial offer, you don't know what goes into, commercial leases, you don't know how to, get the funding for it, for example, it might not be a good place to start. Same with flipping. A lot of people think that they're just going to make instant income, make a lot of money overnight by flipping. But if you're not a contractor and you don't know how to successfully evaluate the market and analyze properties, you're going to get yourself into some serious trouble. And you also need to consider where you are on your timeline. Are you in a wealth growth stage, or are you in more of a plateauing, stable, stability phase? Because where you are in your big overall plan really depends on what strategy in real estate you should be using. And I think that's important too, is the ultimate goal behind all of this is to have a plan. Without a successful plan, You are taking shots in the dark. You're just investing in whatever pops up, whatever crops up in your way. And that's not okay. That's going to lose you money in the long run. You need to pick a niche, pick a market, become an expert, and have a plan. You need to decide how that wealth is going to work. Is it going to be through flipping? Is it going to be through buy and hold strategies in single family homes? Is it going to be commercial? Is it going to be rent to own? Whatever your strategy is, you just need to pick it, and you need to pick one based on your strengths and where you are at the moment. You need to understand what your strengths are and how that is going to leverage you for the long term. Because I had experience with large multifamily homes, managing a lot of tenants, and acquiring off-market properties, I decided to focus on multis. What I learned really quickly is that multifamily homes are huge capital behemoths. You're going to buy one of those and you are going to lock up so much cash and so much financing, and then you're going to sit on it for the next 10 to 15 years, and you're barely going to see major returns before the 5-year mark. That is no way for you to quit your 9 to 5 and start becoming a real estate investor or becoming a millionaire fast. So you have to think about where you're at. I realized that very early on. So I bought some, multifamilies, and then thought, okay, I'm not making enough money. This will not allow me to quit my 9 to 5 job. I need to think of something faster and smarter. So I incorporated a bunch of different things into this that still support my strengths, but allow me to scale faster. So I started to do some flips to supplement and then ultimately replace my 9 to 5 income. I started consulting and coaching on the side. That's another story, but that's kind of, like a side gig to help replace my income. Then I started doing single family basement conversions that were allowing me to do a BRRR strategy. For those of you that don't know, that's buy, renovate, rent, and refinance. So basically, I was able to find really good deals on houses, renovate them, rent them, then refinance them to pull out some capital, and then turn that capital and just keep doing it again and again and again. The cool part about this strategy is that single family homes tend to appreciate much faster in a market than a multifamily. Multifamily are popular for that exact reason, because they don't fluctuate as crazy with market roller coaster changes. So they maintain value, they hold their value, and you get the benefit of economies of scale with the rents. When you do renovations, you increase rents, and you're not at the mercy of tenants moving in and out and losing out on rent in the example of a single family home. However, single family in the same market will appreciate much faster. So if you're looking to really scale quickly, single family homes in this BRRRR strategy might be the way to go. Through this, you're able to put in capital, raise rents, force appreciation in a home, and then take back out your renovation capital and go put it right away into another property. It's a really, really powerful model if you want to scale quickly. So this is actually how I have been able to scale super fast. And that doesn't mean that I've avoided investing in multifamily. I still invest in multifamilies. I just am very selective about the buildings that I choose, and I make sure that my strategy can continue to make me money. I still do flips. I do a bit of wholesaling. I continue to do these BRRRRs so that I'm able to sustain myself. So at the end of the day, it's really important that if you're getting started in real estate and you really, want to retire early and become a millionaire, you need to consider these factors. You need to know what your strengths are, and you need to have a plan. You can't just quit your 9 to 5, start investing in real estate, and expect that tomorrow you're going to just retire rich. It is not the case. It takes time for a property to appreciate in value, for you to be able to pull that equity out and start utilizing that money. And I highly encourage that if you're in this growth phase, you don't want to be taking that money out and spending it. You want to be reinvesting it, at least for the next 5 to 6 to 10 years. Then you can start to move into that stability stage, where then you start to sell off some assets, keep that, and then reinvest the rest and keep the parts of your portfolio that are beneficial to you. So I'm definitely going to be doing some more videos, more in depth on all of this, but I want to share a little bit about my personal story, my personal strategies that I use and that I have used to accelerate really, really quickly. I have over, 7-figure portfolio at the moment, and I've raised over, $1.5 million in capital this year alone. So it's possible. I knew nothing about real estate 2 years ago. You guys can, develop the knowledge and education, the expertise, the value that you can give to JVs. And don't write off JVs just because you're giving away 50% of equity. You're not giving anything away. In fact, you are making yourself stronger by using the resources of someone else to help them and help yourself grow rapidly. That is how you're going to get to that 7-figure and 8-figure mark really, really quickly. And in the GTA where I invest, it's really important to consider that, housing is expensive. And in order for you to get enough housing for you to be able to hit that 7-figure mark, retire eventually, you're going to need some help. So consider JVs and consider making a plan and a strategy and picking something that really makes sense for where you're at in your growth cycle at the moment. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you're enjoying the channel. If you like it, please click below and subscribe, and I'm looking forward to next time. Bye, guys. Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning into my channel. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you're looking for even more amazing content on real estate investing, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be releasing amazing videos every single week, so you won't want to miss it. If you want to learn more about working with me and what I do, make sure to check out my website as well. Bye, guys.